In Consumer Corner, we take a look at trends creating a buzz online in China. On today's show, we'll see how Chinese internet users comment on China's P2P lending scalpers. It's a difficult thing for Chinese private companies to get loans from state-owned banks. These banks prefer lending money to state-owned enterprises because they can repay the bank loans. For private companies, state-owned banks usually require them to go through a prolonged and complicated procedure to get loans. The emergence of China's peer-to-peer lending market gives these people who are not welcomed by Chinese banks a platform to get loans easily. It's also hot among investors because it can provide at least a 15% interest rate to them. The huge market demand has driven up China's P2P lending market over the past year. China's Industrial Economy News cited data from the Chinese Central Bank. It shows that by the end of last year, China's P2P lending companies have exceeded 350. The turnover of the market has reached 60 billion yuan, or about 9.7 billion US dollars. The report also said that each day, there were 3 new P2P lending companies open for business. However, accompanied by the rapid increase in company numbers, there's also a large number of P2P lending companies that went bankrupt. China Industrial Economy News reported that last year, over 75 P2P lending companies delayed repayments or went bankrupt. Some of these company owners even ran off with the money. Due to the country's lack of legal supervision and management, many investors have suffered huge losses. But it seems that Chinese investors aren't afraid of lending their money through P2P platforms despite the negative news. The most welcome P2P lending company is called Wenzhou Dai. As Money Week reports, from the beginning to the end of last year, nearly 7.5 billion yuan, or about 1.2 billion US dollars, have been lent out. Nearly 100,000 people got loans from the company's P2P lending platform. Apart from that, the latest data shows that in May of this year, the company's total loans reached 150 million US dollars. That's equal to 1/8 of the total amount last year. The booming P2P lending market on the website cannot disguise its problems. One of the controversial groups of people is being called P2P Lending Scalpers. As Money.163.com reports, these people refer to those who sweep up all the loans that have low interest rates, then lend this money to the other borrowers at higher interest rates. By doing this, P2P lending scalpers can easily earn profits through interest rate margins. These scalpers could be a nightmare for money borrowers because they increase lending costs. But in fact, these people are quite welcomed by money lenders and P2P lending platforms. Investors can easily lend out their money and enjoy high interest rates. These people never worry if scalpers don't repay the debt because the platform will compensate all their losses. While for P2P lending platforms, they could also receive commission fees from both sides. Chinese internet users also show their opinion on the issue. Some blame P2P lending scalpers for damaging this innovative financial platform. One wrote, quote,
"These scalpers are borrowing money at low interest rates and then re-lend them at high rates. So what's the difference between P2P lending and usury loans?"
Another one agreed, quote,
"China's P2P lending is a fraud. Why doesn't the government do anything before something serious happens?"
However, some other internet users don't think it's fair to criticize P2P lending scalpers. One wrote, quote,
"People in the real economy can only earn 10% profits at most. However, those who do P2P lending businesses can easily get a 15% profit at least. If I were them, I would do the same thing."
Finally, a Weibo user concluded, quote,
"High risks bring high revenue. Investors are all trying to maximize their benefits. So if you want to step into the P2P lending market, you need to prepare for your losses. There is nothing to complain about."
These person-to-person lending businesses are riskier because people don't assess credit the same way that banks do. This can lead to underground businesses like those for loan sharks. But if people need the money and banks are giving out loans, they don't have much of a choice. It would take a massive overhaul of security and financial systems to oversee these loans.